Well, okay, if we don't reproduce, if we don't have another generation, everything before us...
I'm not saying we need another generation, but it's not our responsibility.
Hey, what if she wanted to reproduce with a black man? Would that be okay with you?
Okay, let's think about that for a second.
Or is that ruining my generation?
Well, let's think about the consequences.
It affects the percentages. It does, the racial percentages.
Now, you know,
apparently that's a problem.
I don't mean to be personal and so on, but you know, all of you are very lovely people and so on. Very, very excellent genetic endowment. Okay.
Thank you, I'll work it
now,
out.
the genes that you have, the physiology that you have, that is the result of thousands upon thousands of generations of your ancestors, okay, producing you. Okay, and so there's a very unique heritage
from America, though.
You have a very unique heritage to you. Now, if you chose to pick some other race and reproduce with that other race, you would end that permanently. Your heritage.
And I'm okay with that.
Whoa. Okay. Well, is that scientifically true? Let's look at your physiology. Okay. You have a look. I'll bet you that your grandparents, if you looked at family pictures of your grandparents and your great-grandparents, they would look just like you. I mean, I'd have to guess about that. You don't have any ancestors that look Chinese or African or Amerindian. There are none, going back thousands of generations. Well, yes, I do. And so do all of us looking at it. Now, the thing is if you chose, you pick some other race, and you decided to marry a person of that race and have children of that race, tell me this, could you ever regain the genetic endowment you have? Would there ever again be people who look...
Does that matter?
Okay, but scientifically, would it be lost? Would the chain be broken? Yes, it would. That's my point.
That's my point.
If the demographics of America changed and the blacks became, or the Hispanics became the majority race of America, what would that mean for America for you? Would that be of a lesser value? Would that change America?
Well, it would mean that whereas Africans are very smart about keeping Africa African, okay? And those little tiny parts of Africa that got a little bit white for a while, they're retaking those. Okay, the Africans insist on Africa being African. The Chinese insist. If you and I tried to move to China and set up like colonies there, they would kick us out faster than we could say, you know, Jack Sprat. Okay, all other races are very protective of their territory. The only people who are not protective of their territory are us.
Because we're the greatest country.
Exactly, that's why we're superior to the rest
Well, how
of
is that? Is that an act of intelligence to give away your land? Is that an act of intelligence or stupidity?
Well, we are not native to this land, so what is there to be protected of? We're European Americans.
Well, when you say we're not native to this land...
I mean, I used to live in Nigeria. When I lived in Nigeria, I was welcome. Then if there were to be more whites there, I don't think...
Let me ask you this. Let's say you tried to move 500,000 American Europeans to Nigeria, to Lagos, okay? How would you be treated? If you tried to move 500,000 white Americans to Nigeria, how would you be treated? By the Nigerian government and by the Nigerian people?
I don't know if it's fair to make an assessment as to how I would be treated in a good way or a bad way, just as much as you would.
You'd be run out.
How can you make that assessment? I can't make it.
Well, it's the way. How are disputes settled in Africa right now?
But they're not racial.
You remember the war? You don't remember
between tribes. If we were to go there, that would be not a brain drain for them. That would be a brain increase. They would have investment for that.
Do you remember the way the Nigerians treated the Igbos, the Igbo people?
Yes, I know.
Millions killed.
Yes,
Millions killed.
You're not gonna like this.
So, but the point is this. I think somebody asked a good question here, which is does it matter whether Europeans remain in control of our own country? And I say yes, it does, very, very much. Because every people has a right to a place. Right. This is our place.
Whose place?
European Americans.
Why?
Because
Africans came here at the same time we did.
Yes, we built it, we created it.
They built it with their bare hands.
Turn this around so that you don't represent a campaign for liberty.
We built the farm.
They invested as much of their own blood and sweat to this country as we did.
Believe more in your own people. There's no... It's not a quite like, well, dibs, you know, dibs, you know, we were here, you know, like
he hates foreigners.
Tribe of
I'm a Poltard?
Oh, boy, yeah.
Am I a Poltard?
We were,
I'm a Poltard.
You're probably not as bad as he is.
I'm a Poltard too, bro.